The sun was setting over the quiet town of Red Creek, painting the sky in strokes of amber and rose. Dust swirled gently through the empty street, carrying the scent of old wood and lost memories. On the horizon, a lone rider appeared, his silhouette sharp against the dying light. It had been 5 long years since anyone had seen him. John Mercer, once a lawman, then an outlaw, now something in between, rode slowly into town. His coat was tattered, his hat low, his eyes shadowed by guilt. Every hoofbeat echoed like the sound of a past he could never escape. At the edge of the saloon porch stood a woman holding a baby. Her name was Clara. She didn't move, didn't blink, just stared as if seeing a ghost rise from the desert. Her arms tightened around the child, and for a moment, she looked ready to run, but her heart wouldn't let her. The townsfolk gathered silently, watching the reunion they'd all whispered about for years. John dismounted, his boots sinking into the dust. He looked at Clara, then at the baby, and his lips trembled. "Is he, Clara nodded before he could finish. "He's yours, John." The world seemed to tilt. John's throat closed as he took a step closer, wanting to hold the boy, but his hands, rough, scarred, trembling, stayed at his sides. He wasn't sure he deserved to touch something so pure. The sunset blazed behind them, 2 souls caught between forgiveness and regret, their hearts beating in the same silence. Night fell heavy over Red Creek. The saloon lights flickered, and the air filled with the soft murmur of uneasy talk. John sat at a corner table, untouched whiskey before him. He could feel the stares, the fear, the judgment. But what weighed heavier were Clara's words. "You left me, John. You left before you even knew." He remembered that day, the gunfight, the blood, the bounty on his head. He had thought he was protecting her by disappearing, but time had turned that protection into pain. Outside, the baby's soft cry echoed, pulling him back to reality. Clara stood on the porch again, her shawl wrapped tight, eyes glistening. "Why did you come back?" she asked when he approached. "I got tired of running," he said, "and I wanted to see what I lost before I go for good." Clara's expression softened, but tears threatened. "You think showing up now makes things right?" John shook his head. "No, but it's all I can do before they find me." That was when she understood he wasn't staying. Trouble was behind him, riding fast. The man who once protected her was now being hunted by his own kind. Still, when he reached out a shaking hand, she placed the baby in his arms. For the first time, John smiled. A broken smile filled with love and goodbye all at once. Morning came too soon. The sky burned orange as John saddled his horse in the middle of town. Clara stood on the steps, her son in her arms, the wind tangling her hair. "You don't have to go," she whispered. "I do," he replied, eyes locked on hers. "If I stay, they'll burn this town to the ground." Clara stepped closer, pressing the baby's hand to his father's chest. "Then promise me one thing, that you'll come back when the dust settles." John looked at his son, at the tiny fingers curled around his coat. His heart twisted. "If the good Lord allows," he said softly. The townspeople gathered again as he mounted his horse. A hush fell as he turned his hat down and took one last look at the woman he loved, the woman who had waited through years of silence. The wind picked up, carrying dust across the street. John nudged his horse forward. As he rode away, the sunlight swallowed his silhouette, leaving only the echo of hoofbeats, fading into the desert. Clara stood still. The child pressed to her heart, whispering to the wind, "Where the dust meets the heart, I'll find you again." And though he was gone, the town swore they could still hear that promise, somewhere beyond the horizon.